Green. A lot of work. That was a lot of work.
Ready. Call the August 26, 2025 City Council meeting to order. We'll remind everybody to silence their cell phones. Ms. Adlin's gonna lead us in prayer and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything you give us, Lord. I want to pray that you will give everyone a great day. Help us to have self-control and help everyone make right.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
One nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready? Thank you, Mr. Adlin. I appreciate that prayer. It's a really good one.
Yes, it was.
We'd all be well advised to listen to it. Okay, roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilmember Grimes.
Yeah.
Councilmember Hampton. Councilmember Woodhull.
Here.
Vice Mayor Lambert.
Here.
Mayor Kettering.
Here. Approval of items on the consent agenda. Approval to read by title only, resolution 2025-18 and resolution 2025-19. Have a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Grimes.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton. Councilmember Woodhull.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry.
Yes.
Mayor Kettering.
Yes. Receiving requests from the general public. Do we have anyone in the general public who is going to speak on anything not on the agenda? You're on the agenda. Yeah. Okay. Here, not yet. If you're on the agenda, you don't. This is open mic time. Is anybody not on the agenda want to speak or have anything for the council? Here, no one. We'll move on to number 5, bids and RFQs, and we don't have any. All right, then, moving on to number 6. Agenda item.
I would like to speak on the 6B.
Okay, well. I see agenda item 6A, is that still going
Just for information,
6B,
Swanee River probably has a policy to abandon wells. And I would call them. The city of Perry has a policy in place to abandon city property. What the city also has are well compensated administrators who need to do his job. That's not this council's job, it's not your job, it's not anybody's job, it's his job. And if he can't carry through, he needs to do something else.
Are we talking about,
Policy.
are we talking about agenda item 6B now? Which item are you on?
B.
B, okay. You're talking about the well, okay,
6B.
okay.
The policy, which he has not, this is not something new. We spent a long time going over all these policies and getting them in place. and everybody agreed. If you don't follow the policy, you get into a mess like we are now. And all you gotta do to fix this mess is follow the policy. You don't need a new policy, follow the one you got.
Okay.
Are you speaking to 6B or to resolution 19?
6B.
6B.
I know that's what he said, but
That's what I meant.
Water, talk about that, we've already done the well part,
Pardon?
we've abandoned the well.
Doesn't matter.
I thought you said something about we haven't abandoned the well yet.
you have not.
We have.
That's what I thought. You reported that last week, last time.
Yeah, the well's already a mute issue.
This is the point.
Well, I'm trying to get it, Bill.
There's steps. 1, 2. To abandon property. Then you go to step number 3, which is an ordinance read by title only first time. Step number 4. You read it, you take a public hearing, and it's done. Okay, 3 and 4 were just put on the shelf, and it's not the first time that's happened.
Well, the well was reported to be abandoned at the last meeting. Water department,
Oh, I understand that.
okay.
This should have been done months ago. If step 3 and step 4 was done.
Cal, would you like to speak on this?
Yeah.
Okay,
First of all,
come on up.
I'm gonna back up just a second. First of all, I want to thank John Hart, Danielle, Jamie, and Bruce Griffin. As you know, we bought, along with another guy, we bought the, junkyard. And, it's a mess. And, we have worked diligently with them to try to clean it up. As today, we've already cleaned up probably in excess of 2,000 tires. I don't know how it got to where it got, because the community next door, it's amazing. They weren't just inundated with mosquitoes and everything. So gonna move forward a little bit. Of course, we're the ones that had asked for, the property that where the well was sitting to be sold to us. And our main purpose, and it's in the letter that you received, the main purpose was so we could have access to city water, sewer, and gas. And it comes off of Saxton Street. The main thing we ask is that we're afforded the same courtesy that those before us were afforded. And I gave you examples of the properties that have been sold within the last few years and how they proceeded to do that. I don't think I'm any better than them. I don't think I'm any worse than them. I think I'm equal with them and would like to be treated the same way. It's my understanding that whatever policy was in place, that we did notify the adjacent landowners. And I think there are certain time frames. And once that was done, I talked with Mr. Hart, and he said, how do I want to proceed? I said, well, I want to proceed to, if there's any way that we can purchase it, if it's abandoned, to let us do that. With the understanding that, at some point, we're going to develop that property. We own the junkyard, which we're in the process of cleaning up. We
And
own,
thank you for that.
well, it's a short,
Yeah,
we own the
a
book.
lot of work.
Which we, you know, when we bought it, I don't know if everybody remembers how it was. The doors were kicked in. I want to say they were dealing drugs and everything else out of the bookmark. And we made it where we can rent businesses at a fair amount, the rooms.
Mhm.
Recently, we had the opportunity to buy the old KFC. You know, that was a squatter's haven, right next to, what's it, Coxwell, Wilson Bank and Tackle. So we talked with John, Jamie, Bruce, and they prefer that we tear it down. That's exactly what we do. You know, we feel like that we're not in this by ourselves. Yeah, we stand to profit, but we're in this to make the city look a little bit better. I think you each agree that it all looked terrible. So that's one reason we went to the city to see what we could do as far as getting that easement. And quite frankly, if you don't want to sell it, fine. We're okay with that. But what we're asking is, number one, you do the same courtesy to it that we're doing to the other properties. You clean it up because it looks like a pig pen. Number two, we ask that you just grant us a perpetual easement for city water and gas so that when we get ready to do something with any of those back properties, that we have access to. Now, the advantage is if you sell it, of course, there will be a taxable value of it. It will allow us to put city water and gas to those properties, which the city will ultimately get revenue off of. So this isn't something we're trying to take from anybody. We're trying to do the right thing. And that's one reason we feel like that the process has been gone through and that we ask, you know, one of those two things, decide to let us move forward and purchase it. Because all the notices have been done or give us a perpetual easement for utilities. Questions for me?
Pretty simple.
Yeah,
It is to me
It
anyway.
can only benefit all of us, y'all.
Yeah.
It's nothing. There's no sleight of hand here. We don't have anybody in mind for the properties yet. But why would you want to buy something that has looked like the junkyard has looked like for, I know, of 50 years, because I've been here 50 years.
I can't remember it not being there.
Yeah.
I'm 60.
And why, and I'm not here to throw stones, but why something wasn't done prior to this is beyond me. So, thank y'all.
Thank you.
My question is, why is there not a first reading of the ordinance on this agenda?
The council never agreed to a price to sell it. Finally got back from Shawna, the value of the land only. If it weren't city owned. $67,200.
That piece of property is worth that much.
That's the way it sit on Jefferson.
I didn't think so myself, but. It's 0.8 acres. You look at this, 2.75 acres, where the bookmark is. The land value is 264, so about 100 grand an acre.
That's right off the 19, Sean.
I agree with you.
Yes,
I saw that number, I was kind of shocked.
I am too, actually.
Look at the house right across the road from it. I don't think the whole house and everything sold for that.
What's one?
Little two-story there on the corner.
Saxon on
Saxon.
It's Saxton
Saxon
and
and Arthur.
yeah, Arthur.
Arthur and Saxon.
Mhm.
there,
Yeah,
82,000. .11 acres, land value, $800.
I mean, there's no doubt it's gonna be worth more all contiguous, but right now, sitting the way it sits, I don't. Of course, the way land prices have been going, it's been surprising me a little.
On the appraiser's website is 3,000 value. But the city owns it, they don't. You go with it like a ship. What we're gonna do every time, we can't agree on the price.
So property appraiser says 3.
Property appraiser website says 3 because the city owns it. They
Uh-huh.
don't care about value because we're not paying taxes. I asked her what it'd be if it was privately owned by somebody, and it was 67,200 or whatever it should be. That's the same thing we do with Martins, they sell it for, like, what, 17,000? Property appraiser showed like 1,000, 2,000. Once we asked her what it'd be worth, if a private citizen owned it, it went to 17,000.
You got the land across the road, it's worth $800.
The policy says you would, anything over 20 grand, you would get a certified appraisal.
Guess there wouldn't be any harm in doing that, because that'd tell you for sure what's going on.
Is that's not the policy we've been going by, is it?
You haven't voted.
We haven't in
That's
the
what I'm saying,
past.
that's not one we voted on.
Our policy says y'all come up with a price. We won't sell it for less than fair market value.
Or what property appraiser says.
Our current policy doesn't really tell you how you come up with fair market value, I don't believe.
But what about the others that have been sold?
They were appraised by the property appraiser.
According to the policy, that's what we going by.
That would be assessed value, right?
They were what value it would have been owned by a private citizen.
That resolution by 2025. Oh, that's the one you're doing. The one that was passed in 2024 as a resolution. Said the same should be sold to said private person or entity at no less than the value assessed by the office of the property appraiser.
What'd the property on both sides of it go for? But I do understand there's road frontage, I get that. Maybe take an average of the area.
Well, that's 410.
Which is how many acres?
3.1.
So
Land value of 132, 40 grand an acre. Get by that. The 0.88 would be 32 grand, not road frontage.
I used to be able to come up with a pretty good idea of what land was worth, but now everything's changed so much.
Well, it says, as it says by the office of property appraiser, so if the assessment is based on the property appraiser's website, you would have an argument to the thousand.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it doesn't say by that there has to be a new appraisal.
Appraiser in it,
needed, or
This would fall. Without looking at that, that's actually what I had offered, Mr. Harden
Mhm.
today, and he said, well, let's look up the assessed value.
Cause that's what I was under the impression of, we were going by whatever the appraiser.
And
Says
that
it's
doesn't
worth.
include, I mean, we're still gonna have to clean up the property.
Mhm.
I'm sure y'all got estimates on other properties to clean up.
Yeah.
Tear the well
So-
down, tear the building down. There's still trees actually from the storm on Saxton I think Ms. Hampton, have you ridden down that road?
Yes,
There's still debris on that road that has not been removed that we did not put there. So,
I will give you my reason for letting it go for $3,000. It's because to me it's a partnership. He's clearing up all of this land and it's gonna benefit the city of Cary. Bring in jobs, clean up that area that has been looking like that probably for 30 years. Maybe longer, I don't know. But that is how I would look at it, to let it go for $3,000. So look at it as a partnership.
Danielle, you already sent letter,
Be benefiting
There.
us as a whole.
you already sent letters out, and nobody else had any interest in it.
And we don't have that small clause in there stating that if it was owned by private property, it would be this in that
No. it's
resolution.
very broad.
It's broad, isn't
Very
it?
broad. I believe the resolution that, Mr. Hart is bringing forward makes it more detailed and maybe try to address, when I went back to listen to last meeting, there were so many different
Mhm.
points that were being made. It wasn't clear if it was only just the idea of it being a surplus or the idea of it for cost. But it's broadly stated as now assessed by the Office of the Property Appraiser.
Say no less there?
No less.
No less.
The value assessed.
It doesn't say the amount, it says no less.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
No less.
So if we adhere to that policy, we won't be doing anything.
If you adhere to that policy, I guess the argument can be made, is this as value what the Office of Property Appraiser has on the website, which we have been using.
That's
So
what I'm
there's
saying.
never been a request for a special survey or a reappraisal.
Mhm.
And, Mr. Hart asked how much would a private person owning it may be assessed to. That's not currently the status of the property, it's owned by the city. So I would argue that as long as it's an assessed value, is no less than what has been noted in their records as the value of the property as we own it. Then I think you have the ability to charge that or more,
Okay,
no less than.
gotcha.
What be
John.
the pleasure of the council? Anybody care to make a motion? Is there any other discussion?
Well, I
If
guess
we-
my question is, if we sell it, are we selling it under the existing policy? Or are we gonna do something with this policy that's presented tonight and go by it?
I don't think that would be right. I don't think that would be right,
We haven't gotten to that
because we
policy
haven't
yet.
got to that policy yet. So that would make him have to go all the way back through the process and having to pay more money. No, I don't agree with that.
we currently have equipment out there cleaning.
Mhm.
up too.
I'm not suggesting that we do, I'm just trying to be clear here that we
Sure.
don't. Seems like a gray area to me.
Well, because you haven't voted, there's been no presentation officially of the new resolution. The one that's in place is the one that's in place now.
Mhm.
We sold a right away not too long ago for how much? I can't remember.
Mhm.
Isn't even a right away, it's just a abandoned well site.
So that 1.06 acres to Martine for 15,000 and 2,500.
25. Mhm.
And we use the appraisal that was.
Valued in, yeah.
No, the appraisal while we owned it was $1,000. After we asked for, it was a private citizen, it went to 15. That's what we sold it for.
I meant to say that it would apply with the old, so you can have it more
It's not less.
We need to do something. I don't think we need to leave Cal hanging.
We sure don't.
We not,
I mean, I'll entertain a motion from someone.
That we sell him the property for 27.67, what did it say?
She said 67. Council, always vote whatever they want. Make policy.
That's our next project, do something with the sound system. One of our next projects.
If I may add, in listening to the last two meetings where you all were talking about this, it seems that there was a lot of consideration by the council as to what the city may be responsible if it continue to maintain the property and the cost to clean it up. If we held the city by the same standards as maybe other private citizens. And we have the right, or the city council has a right to create a policy. The policy is a resolution to give people an opportunity to see how you come about making your decisions, but it's not an ordinance, it's a resolution. In looking up the attorney general's information under Florida law, government units have discretion to classify property as surplus if it's obsolete, uneconomical to maintain, or serves no useful function. I think last meeting, there was an unuseful function as a description. And in the resolution that you have currently, that was changed in 2024, when I say change, updated, it describes within keeping of Florida law that no longer needed for municipal purposes. So basically, disposition method for surplus property is up to the municipality's governing body, which must act in good faith and in the best interest of the city. So, as long as it's in compliance, well, your desire in creating those, the policy manuals for people to have an idea of what is expected and trying to clean up how decisions are made, I feel like you're well within your rights, given what you've intended to give citizens opportunity to know how you make decisions to determine, reasons why you would go higher than the assessed value or lower or more. I know with the property, although this was not the discussion with Martine property, the property in that case may have dealt with other types of things or not other types of things that would make 13,000 reasonable to the council. But as long as you believe that it's in the best interest and done in good faith and no less than the assessed value by the Office of Property Appraisal, so.
Are we talking about 2519?
No, that's the new that's the new resolution. When I say the new, is the proposed resolution that Mr. Hart's put forward. I was basing it on the resolution that stands.
I realize the council's got the right to change, but they don't morally have the right to change in the midstream. And that's what I think you're trying to do.
I don't know.
All we need to do is follow the policy that was in place when this started. And we should have had an ordinance first reading on this agenda.
Well, we gotta come up with a price to get a first ordinance, so that's what we're trying to do now. So does anybody care to make a motion with a price, so to sell this
That's
thing?
all been done.
What's the price then?
No, you've got to have the ordinance. Everything else has been done.
So Mr. Bill, you saying we should sell it at the 3?
Whatever.
Property appraiser said it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody care to make a motion?
Because that's how the policy is written, the one we have in
I
place
know.
right now.
Hammond followed the policy that was in place when this started.
I make a motion that
I'll
we
make
follow.
that in the motion.
Okay. And I'll second.
But that's not what you did last.
It's not
What's your motion?
Motion to follow the policy that was in place when this process started.
Sell it for 67,200.
Pardon?
Which assessment are you? That's why I think they were asking.
That's what it,
at what
yeah,
price.
yeah.
Which assessment are, the assessment, that's the question again, going back to price, what assessment are you accepting?
Okay. So,
This would fall.
I'm sorry, I just need the councilman to answer real quick, then if there's any more questions. Because I know a lot of people are talking, I just want to make sure I'm understanding what the council.
Can we see the letter from property appraisers or the note, whatever you had? Okay, 67,200.
How many acres is it?
That's what the,
It's not even an acre,
0.8.
right?
Mhm.
Just verifying.
supposed to be on. 184.
And once again.
We're talking about almost 80,000 an acre.
So take that and put in there, if the city owns it, doesn't really matter what it's worth. Take that one.
I don't think they value,
It's a meaningless value.
meaning,
Meaning,
That reflects the value of the land is.
It's untaxed properties, they don't really,
okay. I
Keep
just want
up.
to be clear, because that is from the Office of Appraisal, so the idea that what Mr. Hart received was 67,500 is how much it would be appraised for if it was owned
by
by
private.
private property.
right?
So you all, that may be a little consequences to your decision or not, but that is the. appraisal.
Question. Cal, is that what you told John you would agree to?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's before we even looked at what it was assessed at
okay.
on the property. I thought we had a motion from.
We do have a motion from Bill that we follow the policy.
And you have a
Second.
motion from Ms. Woodfall for $3,000 to sell it, so I'm a little confused.
You
Mm-hmm,
make a motion on that?
yep.
$3,000.
My thing is the money he's putting into this property.
Well, the policy
If-
doesn't cover.
Okay,
that,
if
does
you
it?
want, come up with a price.
Well,
And that doesn't include having to tear all that stuff that's there down. That does come with an expense.
This is so aggravating.
the policy says that we'll sell it for the appraised value from the property appraiser's office, and she said it was 67,200, and that's what we need to sell it for. That's following the
That's what-
policy.
That's if it's privately owned.
So it's privately owned and it's sellable.
Okay. Is that the privately owned price?
The 67.
Well,
How
this,
do we know?
if this property's in private hands, how much would it take to get it sellable? Wild guess.
Grand from the building up.
I'd say 25 to 30 based on what I'm doing on the other property.
We got 9 grand in bank with.
About how much you got in at 9 grand doing the well? What about 9 grand plus the 3 grand? Meet in the middle. Well, it's not exactly the middle, but
How about, since you have to incur that cost anyway, what about 4,500 and 3 grand? And that's me paying for half of the well event.
Sorry.
75.
No, I'm not a parliamentarian for the council, but you have motions standing that need to be dealt with.
Yeah, we got two motions that need to be gotten off the table, one way or the other.
I seconded Bill's motion that we follow the policy. Y'all wanna vote on that?
Any other discussion? Now let's do a vote.
Follow the policy.
Which is ridiculous. We shouldn't have to vote on that. Should be
Councilmember
automatic.
Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes,
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. Now. Then we voted to follow our policy we have in place right now. We just still gotta come up with a price.
You still have a motion by Ms. Woodfall, 3,000. I don't know if there was a second or not, but that still needs to be dealt with, because it is a motion.
I was,
It needs to be dealt with, whether it dies without a second or you, or
do we
whatever.
have a second on that motion from Ms. Woodfall to sell it for 3,000?
I'll second.
Let's have a vote then.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
yes.
What is the,
The motion is to sell it for $3,000.
what is that property version?
It's one of them.
Yes. No less than the property version.
The property appraiser says $3,000 on their side. Is that what y'all go by? That's been a lot of this discussion. What does it go by? I'll be honest, this has been some of the confusion last council meeting, because we have another parcel that's in the same predicament, y'all, we never,
This needs to stop.
yeah,
It does.
So we gotta do policy to help some of them.
so.
No, this should have been taken care of a long time ago when we kept running into this.
How did the value, the offer, I guess, get where it was?
He asked me what I would like to pay for it, Mr. Bryan's,
Oh,
and I told him, I pay $3,000 considering I got to tear everything down and we'll have several dollars in expenses. And then Mr. Hart said, well, we have to follow, you know, what they have, what Shauna has. We looked it up and it was $3,000 to both of our surprise. Isn't that right, Mr. Hart?
Yeah. That's why we went.
Well, I mean,
What it really
that's-
should be.
that's what. $3,000.
Can y'all sell it for the 67 minus cost of rehabbing?
It's breaking the policy.
No, it's not,
No, we're
because
gonna go.
if you, because
We have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
Ms. Hampton seconded, now we'll roll call.
Voting.
Okay,
Mr. Grimes,
At what value?
$3,000.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
yes. All right. We're gonna do an ordinance, first reading, a second reading. Okay,
Can I address the council?
you may.
Listen, guys, we'll make you guys proud. I know this was a bone of contention, but I'm telling you, just like the other properties, we'll do the right thing for the city. And it won't make nobody look bad on this deal, I promise you that.
Okay,
Y'all remember what I said.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. That's-
Okay, agenda item 6A. I understand, what about agenda item 6A? I just Mr. K didn't hear.
He has to be on the first September meeting. I thought it
All right, we're gonna we're gonna skip to agenda item 6G, public hearing. Community Development Block Grant, a public hearing to receive citizens' views concerning a proposed grant application that will request funding to address infrastructure repairs and improvements that are needed as a result of the 2023-2024 storms, which include Hurricane Idalia, Hurricane Debbie, and Hurricane Helene. The grant application deadline is September 29th, 2025. Who would like to speak on this? Hello.
I've had some relationships with John and kind of through the process of different types of applications, but first time I've actually been able to meet you guys. And so I'm Mary Gavin. I am a retired USDA director for just to kind of give a little background about myself. And then I work with SERCAP with providing free technical assistance to rural communities, you know, with application development, that kind of stuff. And so one of the applications the city of Perry is entertaining and I was considering applying for, like what it said, is the CDBG disaster recovery block grant. And so Florida Commerce has about $400 million statewide for rural infrastructure funding type projects. And, you know, the city of Perry has a lot of needs, a lot of disaster needs. And so with that funding, you know, the proposed projects are going to be broken up into like 5 different categories. And within those categories, and I think you guys have a handout. You've got probably a couple handouts, but one of the handouts, which is encompasses all the infrastructure that you needs that you have that include, you know, water and wastewater related, is the wastewater treatment facility upgrades, the effluent disposal, reuse system hardening, drinking water source and treatment improvements, citywide sanitary sewer collection and drinking water distribution system rehab, and then the wastewater conveyance lift station program, which includes about 11 critical lift stations. After getting, you know, having some conversations, you know, with the city staff and then with the engineers and with Florida Commerce, there's this handout right here, which is the recommended process. And it's, you know, pretty much what's identified in the ads for one, and then also in the that's part of that agenda. And so the reason why one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to have to separate the applications, not just by category, but because there's such a big dollar amount, you know, that the city of Perry needs. We're going to submit several applications so that hopefully, you know, a few of them stick, you know, and get awarded. You know, we submitted, you know, all the projects within one application, may not get any money at all. So the purpose of doing multiple applications for us is so that hopefully, you know, if they award, you know, $20 to $40 million, you know, and whatever they feel like that more critical need is, then you know, we can get some disaster recovery funding. So, so the recommended projects, you know, this little handout right here, you know, are the lift stations, the wastewater treatment facility, the digester. You've got the wastewater treatment improvements, which is, you know, I think about $12 million. Temple Creek Trunk Line, that's $9 million. So you can see these dollar amounts are, you know, kind of, you know, good sized projects that, you know, have a good chance of getting funded. You've got the only thing that may have been, you know, listed originally in all the water and sewer projects are some, I think, distribution lines that are asbestos, and CDBG folks kind of want you to kind of stay away from those type of projects just because they're environmental concerns and, you know, and they're just more of a difficult project to get funded. So that's kind of what the recommended projects are. This next page is the location, you know, of projects themselves with a dollar amount. And then, one other thing that I wanted to mention is that the city of Perry, applied for a fire station. And it did not get funded, or it did not get awarded. And so I thought that, you know, that might be a good project to add as, you know, one of the applications, you know, separate that out. I think it was around $6 million, and it was under the CDBG regular program, and, you know, they just didn't fund a whole lot of projects. And I think the highest dollar amount I saw that was awarded was around 5.9, and it was around 6, a little over 6. And so, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of money there, and I don't know, I mean, scored really high as far as the application goes. There was really kind of no rhyme or reason why some got funded and some didn't, maybe because you guys had just recently been awarded a CPG grant, I think, for some road improvements, and so, you know, who knows? And so I think you have a good chance of getting some grant dollars for the water and sewer improvements. But the best way, you know, to maybe make that application is to, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work, you know, to put those applications together, but, you know, let's hope that by doing the multiple applications that you'll at least get one of those projects funded. Do you have any questions about anything? Comments? Like I said, we'll kind of know that, you know, if you think about the whole state, you know, it's from Hurricane Debbie, let's see, Elaine and Milton. So, so just think about all those communities that were impacted, you know. So 400 million may seem like a lot of money, but when it comes down to, you know, assisting and having, you know, probably big dollar projects, you know, then hopefully we can get. I'm hoping 20
Get some, get started.
Is this an addition to the infrastructure and facade grant that you already have?
The facade grant was tied to the fire station that was not approved. Just got word about it.
Yeah, so that didn't get awarded, and if you want to add it to this pot of money, it is an eligible use of funds, and so we can add that as part of the application. Now, you know, we have these recommended projects, they're water and wastewater related, but thank goodness we were, you know, notified early enough so that we can include a fire station application. Yeah, 15 total projects would be included. So we kind of broke it down, like I said, in 5 different categories, you know, from collection to distribution, and then treatment plant, water facilities.
A lot of these are the same ones we asked. That's already for.
Yes, they are.
And they'll fight at the end, regardless of what.
And my understanding, they're going to be communicating with each other. And so let's say that the SRF program, and we're hoping to get 100% grant dollars there, and as much as you can get there as well. You know, but let's say that they'll agree to do the collection, you know, if, you know, Florida Commerce can do the treatment plant or whatever, you know. So that's essentially, you know, what we're looking at is, you know, the purpose in the public meeting is to, you know, give the public an opportunity to, you know, ask questions and make comments and talk about the proposed projects, and then, you know, what the recommended projects are. And if you wanted to, you know, like I said, you know, allow the fire station to add that as part of one of the recommended projects, we'll just add that to it.
All the paperwork.
Right. So do you have any questions or comments?
Make it work.
Any public, any comments or questions or comments?
Right.
Until 5:01. Airport would want to, I might have put the notice that we started at 5 o'clock for the public hearing.
Mhm.
I need to stay open until after 5.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
I'm not sure, I guess I read over that positive story over today, and that's ringing in my head, but it also could be from Carly saying that the budget is at the start of 5 o'clock, could be wrong.
I better be safe than sorry.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know if you can leave open and go into item or do you close it and reopen it?
I think you can do it.
Leave it open for comments.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, we can move on with other business. Okay, agenda item 6C, resolution 2025-19. A resolution of the city of Perry, Florida, establishing a simple procedure for the disposal of surplus real property owned by the city, providing for declaration, valuation, methods of disposal, conflict of interest, restrictions, and an effective date.
Tim, to bring up all these, we've been having with other policies.
It's just better than what we've got to.
It gives a clear way to define the value and clear steps on how to sell it.
No in-betweens, no ifs, nothing.
Y'all decided surplus property. Before the sale, we return the fair market value for property valued under 20,000. You do it by the property appraiser's office or a broker's stock opinion. They both explain the broker's stock opinion.
But which price?
The fair market value price. The value will not sell it lower than. You can always sell it higher than fair market value, but this is how you determine the lowest price you can sell it. And a broker's price opinion to me is a free appraisal.
Yeah, it's basically, so what we do is we take, area of property around the area that's sold. And we kind of do the same thing that we, the appraiser do, and just kind of get a basic, price for what they sell based on other land in the area that's sold. That be, kind of similar to the same property. So it's kind of like an appraisal. Cheap.
Valued over 20,000, we'll say we require a license appraisal. We had this note in there, we've been talking about demo and build, the damaged trees and all that. So I said the city will not sell surplus property for less than the determined fair market value. So the city council may adjust the minimum sales price to account for the cost of demoing, removing damaged trees, environmental remediation, or other conditions that reduce the usable value of the property. That gives you a way to bring the price down if there's some of these circumstances going on. The method of disposal by public auction or sealed bid. Notice at least 2 weeks before the sale. For ones like dealt with, like cows, you could go to a negotiated sale when bidding is not practical or beneficial. You have a failed public sale, or for like cow, property is only beneficial to adjacent landowners.
Who determines that?
I think the council determined that.
And I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a parcel, sitting on a street that anybody could build on. That's a public auction or sealed bid. It's something like in the middle of property, like an alleyway or something like that. It's only beneficial to the people around it. That's when you go to a negotiated sale with those property owners. Also allowed to transfer to another government agency or donate to a nonprofit with a reversion clause if it ceases that. Thank you, this probably doesn't need to be in there, but anything had to be approved by ordinance to sell. The buyer will be responsible for all costs and transfer, appraisal fee, title work, recording fee, doc stamps, closing costs. No city council member, employees, media family may purchase or receive surplus property. Should have had that in there, start with it 20 years ago.
Longer than that. Yeah.
Proceeds go to city general fund. That's about it. So it does clearly define how the value gets determined, which we didn't have before. And it clearly defines the method of disposal with a little bit of leeway in there for different types of properties.
So John, regarding the property value, if you get a property appraisal value on the website or the appraiser gives one and then a broker gives one, the council can decide which one they're choosing to go forward with.
I would.
I mean, you said at the end that they create the ordinance and they have to approve it, but I just wanted,
Well, understood in my mind, the council can decide whichever way they want to do it. I wouldn't get both of them and pick one. I would say we're going with this option.
And
so
stick
each
with it.
surplus city can decide which one we want to go.
To piggyback.
Go ahead, Aaron.
What Ms. Dempsey is saying, I think she's revealing a very similar problem to what we've been facing.
Exactly.
Because in following the current ordinance over the past 2 years, we started off, the council opted to choose what the property appraiser had as her pattern. Recently, we've started doing something a little different, which is asking her to, what it would be for privately owned, and gone with that. I see the same sort of pitfall in the wording of that. By the way, I like where you're headed. You can give options here. You open the door up to, depending on the circumstances of the individual or the individual council member, you could choose, well, we like what the property appraiser has it on as a city-owned property. If we don't, then we go out for the broker opinion, or then we ask her to do a private, what if it was owned by private, the less wiggle room and leeway you have in that,
Yes.
the more you stay out of trouble and what we just went through.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think that's what her was.
That's definitely a point in the sense of, even though it says that you all agree, but the way this reads, it sounds like if there's two competing values, you all as a council can decide which value you choose to go.
I can see an individual going, oh, I want to get a broker's opinion, or vice
Yes,
versa. Let's don't get a broker's opinion because I like what the property is. And I know John would like this headache to go away, so I would encourage you to make it narrow your policy down to where next time there is no wiggle room. It's going to be what it's going to be.
So if that would work with the property appraiser's office, I would go with just a broker price opinion. It's free.
I mean, normally charge $150 to do it, and it's right there with an appraiser.
It's with
I
a
mean, we've
3%.
never been way off, you know, as far as appraisal price when we get, when they list the house and appraiser comes in, to appraise it, there's very little room in between both of them that there's a difference. Hardly ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to broker or the property appraiser.
Broker's gonna be, well. Property appraiser's gonna have a good idea too. Broker,
Problem you're
That's
running
more-
into is the property appraiser
If.
never reassess the property because it's city-owned property. They never look at it because there's no taxable value to it.
right?
So they've left the same value there for 50 years in many cases.
Yeah, because there's no
So
need,
therefore,
there's no need to mess with it.
That's not a real assessed value,
No.
a real fair market value.
Usually use the word assess and appraisal, typically, but usually when you're talking about assess, you are thinking about taxable property. Or property has been taxed, so since the government's not paying taxes, I understand why Mr. Hart's like, that's a fake price. And appraised value often gets into whether you can get a loan to get a home. So I don't know that it directly address maybe what a city would want to consider. I was just suggesting that you may think of one straight way, because I know John is trying to make it clearer what your expectations
I
are.
like the idea of the licensed broker opinion,
Yeah, cause I don't want any wiggle room.
because that'll just put it where, that'll put it in the real world.
Your suggestion, let's
So do a license appraisal for every request for surplus.
Just a licensed broker opinion. It's not an appraisal. It's a educated opinion.
Under 20 grand, over 20 grand, license appraisal. The only other thing I could see that you never agree, you never can sell it for what the fair market value is. Do you just not go on with sale, or is there an outlet to sell for less? It's not related to these things. Say Charles was the last price, appraisal came back at 25,000. He was the only one even in the meeting interested in it. And he said, I'll give 20,000. There's no wiggle room at the council to say, we will do that.
We need some wording on that also.
Feel like it. Maybe that. After a failed public auction or failed negotiated sale. It can be sold for less than fair market value.
That does make more sense. You've already allowed for it a different way.
I mean, there are times when failed public sales happen. I think it just happened with the county not too long ago. There's landlocked property. There's little thin strips you can't do anything with. There's a number of things. Why a property would fail to sell.
You've got it in there for negotiation,
So-
never failed to sell it public auction.
I understand
Failed
that.
Negotiated sale. Can you sell for less than fair market value?
Except for failed public negotiated sale.
The word negotiated, so kind of.
Negotiate. Yeah, but you also have the city will not sell surplus property for less than its determined fair market value.
So
Good sell.
just add that wording that you just talked about up there, unless take C and move it up there with that. Will be. Beneficial, yes, move it up, except for the.
That's because the failed negotiated sale, or the negotiated sale doesn't happen unless the bidding is not practical.
All the public auction fails. Public auction sale, you can go to negotiated sale fails. Then you can sell for less than fair market value. It's council details, where they don't get.
Well, one thing I've learned is we're never gonna ever cover every possible situation. But we can get close. We just get as close as we can within reason. We're never gonna come up with anything that's gonna cover every scenario. There's no way. But we can get close. I mean, we can cover a lot of it.
You can always change it. If you don't like it. That's what we're doing now. We're double talking.
Yeah, they're not set in stone. They sure can be changed. Regardless of what a lot of people think.
I know of two properties that people are going to buy that's been brought before the council.
Mhm.
One is the alley that Mark Wiggins, well, nothing's ever been decided to bid.
Right.
Bought on Plantation Road, so that will fall under the old policy or the new policy, because we've already done, sent the letters, we've done everything, it's waiting on you all,
Yeah, they were started before this goes into place.
so the old policy. So do y'all want them to, people to come and y'all negotiate a price with them, what I need to tell them? Maybe this has been, yeah.
But it's under the old way of doing things. It's gonna be back to that price from here to there. So you don't have to follow its own ordinances. We do have to follow our own ordinances.
The ordinance is not just a resolution, but the goal is for the public to have an understanding of the way you intend to vote, but it's a resolution.
He's got quite a bit of property that's, out of ordinance. Code violated. Should be anyway.
There's one thing that's gonna hit you. And, where it says the city council may. That's gonna bite you. And I'm not suggesting we put will. But there ought to be some way to massage that to, I don't know, $5,000, up to something like that.
You speaking of
So anytime
section,
you have may,
you speaking of section one,
public says will.
section one,
May in general.
city council may declare real
I think
property.
he's talking about declaration surplus.
They adjust the minimum sale price.
May adjust the minimum.
I don't know.
Well, to account for, I mean, if you got a nice clean piece of property or a really messed up piece of property,
May adjust.
you can adjust it for the situation because every property is not created the same, unfortunately.
Yeah, surplus.
It say may adjust the minimum sales price with quotes for. That's kind of what we had on that one property. We had quotes for $8,000 for removing the street.
You could change that to will up to the amount.
Structure on there, need to be demoed. $25,000 versus street on there for $2,000.
Damaged trees. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Mr. Bill. May can just add a lot more indefinity to it.
And change it to up to 3,000. Is that what you recommended?
Oh, I don't have an amount, but I would put an amount, and that's a reasonable amount.
Then it does the fair market value. Ten percent of the fair market value, give you wiggle room.
That works for me. How do y'all think about that?
Property valued under 20, this may be done by licensed broker price opinion, and property valued over 20. How do you determine if it's over or under 20 before you get the broker price opinion? In other words, you're asking, you're deciding, that's a little troublesome. You're basically assigning a price to it before you're assigning a price.
You start with the broker price opinion. Then if it's above 20, you gotta go to the price opinion.
Maybe let's put that word. For sale, the city will return the fair market value of surplus property by obtaining a licensed broker price.
Yeah, the second line.
I'm not sure.
It works.
So return the fair market value of surplus property, the property value $1,000 this.
Then your next sentence says if over $20,000.
Be responsible for paying for the license.
So we got paid on the front end, but I included.
The apprentice fee from
Yeah.
the buyer.
What about the broker fee, if you just get an opinion? Didn't there, don't the brokers charge for opinions?
Everybody, they're all different, they set their own price, I think.
Getting there. Percent. For adjustment.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. Why does it seem to me that we're actually giving away property for someone to clean it up? And this is how it looks to me. Owned by their property, but you gotta take this out there. So when it comes, the one to get down to actually paying for the property is really nothing, or not too much anyway.
$20,000 piece of property with $8,000 worth of cleanup, it's only worth $12,000. I'm not gonna ask them to pay 20 and then pay more to clean it up.
Because I don't know how many pieces of property we have. 20,000.
Very many. I would think. Daniel, I think. I would surplus property, I hope we don't have very many.
Or
That's where we hold on to.
city clean it up and sell it.
Just wondered if we were gonna make any money doing this.
Probably not.
We'll take the land, get it back on the tax roll every year.
And they need to keep the property clean.
Isn't all other city property auctioned off? Just like county's property?
Sorry, and use public auction, sealed bid.
It's all gone.
Should get the highest price for what it is.
But we're gonna be giving away property. Homeowners,
This policy says we can only reduce by 10% of the fair market value, so if it's a 20 grand piece of property, going this policy, you can only drop it down to 18,000. But no.
That's what I was gonna ask, when you put a minimum sale price of 10% of fair market value, if that still doesn't sell at public auction or negotiated sale with bidding doesn't work, can it then be reduced even more? Are you adding like another step? I don't know that.
Yeah.
And you all can read and see if it's clear to you, because that is supporting that that it can only go less than 10% of fair market value. But I understand once it's if the public auction fails and negotiated sale with bidding, fails, then you can even go lower than that. Right? know the benefit of limiting how much you can reduce it if the council agrees. But it could stay in there, that's what.
The same question we're being talked about is simply a surplus property, correct? The extra property that's of no use to the city at this moment or not be used, and I mean, the way I'm looking at it would be if they're adding value to our town, we don't have the funds or we don't have the manpower to clean it up, if we don't want it. If a citizen or a government or somebody that wants to invest or whatever, if they're coming in to buy it to better our community, bring value to our town and have taxable income in the future, I think, I mean, it's kind of, the way I would look at it, it would be hard to have if I want a park piece of property, if I felt like the city was trying to make an extra buck on me, it would, I don't know, to me, on properties that are of no use to the city, if you have people wanting to improve them, or maybe have a clause in the policy where it's you know, hey, we're basically, like Mr. Shirley said, giving property away. But maybe there's a clause that says, hey, you will have this property at some standard. You know, in order to get this kind of deal, that may be a way to look at it. I don't know.
The standard is what we're trying to come up with.
Right.
Yeah.
Give you X amount off the piece of property, but you wanna clean it up.
Cities giving away properties with conditions for building a certain size house. Correct?
And gas appliances, et cetera.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Right.
That's what that thing needs to be worked on.
Is it-
Step can be-
John,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I didn't want to interrupt if you all continued to the question that was posed. I had another thing I wanted to ask about, but I didn't want to interrupt if y'all were still addressing. I heard your voice, so I didn't know if you were about to say something.
You wanna say something, please?
Okay, I wasn't referring to what the gentleman was referring to. I was gonna ask, and not to make it overly verbose, but in the first paragraph, declaration of surplus property, if we can possibly use a more defined way of dealing with surplus when it is no longer needed for municipal use. I know for some people that could be just now, but maybe if we can say something like it's uneconomical to maintain or serves no useful function. That is not a time issue. But when it's no longer needed or obsolete or uneconomical to maintain, it sounds like some of the cases are getting like the cost of maintaining it, the usefulness, not the idea that this is just not using it. Also,
I'm assuming the only property we're gonna surplus is gonna be property we don't need. I'm speaking of the city of Perry.
or at least that you see having use for it right now.
Municipal use. No longer needed.
Right. I mean, I know in some of these neighborhoods, the city retained some lots they wound up not using, which I believe is where the surplus lot thing came from to build houses on. If you build a certain size house, et cetera, that we were just talking about a minute ago. Anyway. Any more changes anybody would like to make to this? And there could be some changes we're gonna have to do in the future. We don't know yet. That's just it. Some may come up that we just didn't think of.
Change it right now, because the policy ain't good working. Trying to fix it.
whatever we do, we just gotta stay with it and follow it and not fluctuate from it. I'm okay with it.
Second.
Motion and second.
Councilmember Grimes. Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull.
Yes.
Councilmember Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Daydream.
Yes. Agenda item 6D. Yes. Anyone have anything about the CDGP they'd like to ask? None. Hearing nothing, we'll close the hearing. Thank you. Agenda item 6D, resolution 2025-18. A resolution of the city council of the city of Perry, Florida, supporting the Taylor County's pursuit to obtain the Georgia Pacific Pipeline easement through eminent domain, providing for transmittal and providing an effective date. Didn't we do this last meeting?
Somebody said that the table up close.
Table didn't,
Waiting on the city, the county did.
Nothing. Let's stand away from it.
the county commissioners are no, well, all your vote, they should be the leaders in this. And mine is no. Don't want to see it again.
Well, my problem I have with it is there's an ongoing legal action ongoing as of
No.
3 hours ago. I checked and made sure it was still ongoing, and it is. And I just don't see you getting in the middle of a legal action. And that's what this would be doing. So, I'm not,
Decided to agree to an action that hasn't been decided on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much. I think we need to let the other issue play itself out. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know everybody else feels, but so. We need to vote on this.
Bill said he doesn't want to see it anymore, so.
I think it's a pretty much a no.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion, a second for no. Mr. Bill, Miss Diane seconded.
What?
Supporting Taylor County's.
Because it's just a resolution.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
just double checking to see if we needed to make it perfect. Go ahead.
I've never heard a motion not to approve the resolution. I don't understand.
518.
I wasn't even going to make it, but what happened?
Vote no.
All right, everybody good? Agenda item 6E. Agenda item 6E.
We didn't vote.
No.
Okay.
So we voted on resolution.
If there, no one moves for it, really, I thought someone moved. If no one moved, then it's not, you don't have to vote on it.
Okay. I understand, but there was a motion in a second not to pass it.
That's what I thought, so.
Yeah.
You've got a motion for the commission to go ahead.
Councilmember Grimes,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton. Not to approve.
Yes, means no.
Yes.
This means no.
Exactly.
Not to approve.
Yes. What are we doing?
Yes.
Councilmember Landry, yes. Mayor Gentry.
Yes. Agenda item 6E, budget workshop, council to continue discussion on the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, and council will take any action deemed necessary.
Look at the first page. You will see. How much is. Also. The big plus is we did not have to use our gas tax. So we've got gas tax money for whatever. Now. Did you have to use any reserve type money for capital outlay?
The only reserves that we have in the budget are for the parks, for the Boys and Girls Club kitchen expansion that's been flowing
Yeah,
through for this year, but no other reserves.
Wonderful.
Everything else is revenues over expenditures.
I'm ready to adopt it if
Well-
everybody
You what?
budget.
Ready to go?
We'll still have
Is that what
to
you
public
said?
hearings.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll have to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I'm not sure, I guess you
we'll
could.
do it then.
Yes, sir. If we have to hold them in September.
You may want to change it.
There's been like things.
There's all,
Our insurance came back 50,000 higher than what we had expected. So we did have to cut something like that, well, like, sorry, water.
You never see that $8,000.
so the $80,000 was the GAC water filters. Media replacement, yeah, so it was $80,000, Andrew had a truck budgeted for, 75, so it kind of washed just about.
And the other, a big plus is we didn't have to raise any rates.
All right. Any other discussion on the budget?
Well, I'm proud of the progress that we made. I think it looks great.
All right, if we don't have any more discussion, we'll go into, first and second reading in, September with it. All right, thank you. Agenda item 6F, council to review FDOT Scott grant agreement for Park Street resurfacing, and council will take any action deemed necessary.
We wanted to put it at FDOT for 4 streets. Only part was approved. The other 3, we asked for appropriations and they were approved, so we'll eventually get all 4 of those done. But it seems like Scott gives us either 1 or none here. Just put them in. Scott, I mean, Park Street needs pretty bad.
Are we just doing that first out of all the ones that we got to do? Is that what you're saying? Or is it separate?
It's a separate grant.
Okay.
They're all through DOT, but that's through the Scott program. The other 3 are through appropriation.
Okay.
Right, those are the 3.
Park Street.
KFC.
Yeah, KFC, Titans, Kevin Place, up to Old Dixie.
Okay.
Signatures, so y'all probably should vote on it.
Have a motion? Have a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Hampton, second by Ms. Woodford.
Councilmember Grimes. Councilmember Hampton. Councilmember Woodfall.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry.
Yes.
Mayor Petrie.
Yes. Agenda item 6H, council to discuss Hurricane Bridge loan, and council will take any action deemed necessary.
But from my understanding, this is something to do with the GP. If we had wanted to do the resolution to support the GP pipeline, then they would have needed to do this. He doesn't want to do it. It was just asked to be tabled, so put it on the agenda.
Okay.
Ask the,
Tabled. I'm not sure.
if we don't wanna do it, why don't you stop?
It was a bridge loan that had to
Well, it
be,
tabled, so he was saying that he was gonna bring it before y'all to see what y'all wanted to do, but since y'all don't wanna do the GP pipeline agreement, then there's
Anyway,
no reason.
okay.
There were three things that were asked last week.
Should we take?
Last time, you all said you were
Right.
ready to have to do this negotiated NDA or
Yeah,
to be able to communicate with George specifically with that NDA agreement, and that the other two things would be tabled.
Right.
motion to table.
or you want it tabled,
Well,
or you just not want it brought back?
Just,
Okay.
No,
All right.
we're gonna have to go to this.
Not to bring it back.
No.
No.
All right, agenda item 6I, council to appoint one citizen to serve on the Perry Planning and Zoning Board, and council take any action deemed necessary. Do we have anyone? Nope. Okay. We'll revisit that in September. All right,
What you do with that?
I would, that's the one Carly was saying that,
I don't even
John.
know what.
John, that Hurricane Bridge loan,
Has to be tabled along with
right?
the other ones.
You just wanna not do that? Okay. Very good. Item 6J, approval of minutes, August 12th, 2025, regular session. Anybody have any corrections to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Grimes, Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Pedro.
Yes. Joan? Hope? Okay, Carly?
So, sent reminder that the next meeting is gonna be September 11th, which is a Thursday, at 5 p.m. It's because of the public hearing for the budget or for the budget and the millage, we couldn't have it the same day as the county or the school. Put that on the calendar, we'll send out a reminder. But because of that, council packets will probably go out September 8th, which is a Monday, instead of the weekend prior. That's it, just remember it starts at 5.
All right. Jamie?
There's not a lot I want to, I can't talk about it.
Okay, RB? Danielle? Andrew?
This weekend at the water plant, we had a lightning strike to take out one of our well VFDs. We've been working on that, trying to get that back up there this week. So there's some extra expenditures that are working in, but we're working through them, trying not to have any budget. So we are getting going.
Saturday about 5 something. Sean?
Saturday, we had several lift stations overwhelmed. We had a lightning or surge, rule of pump at Bacon lift station. I'm gonna have to report it to DEP. I sent some of the pictures to the engineers. That's a picture of the clarifier that a dog fell got in somehow and clogged it up, and we drained it. When we did that, metal skirting and rusted all to pieces. You zoom in on that, you can see it's falling apart. Pinholes all the way up, and so I gotta get quotes and see about fixing that. And I think it's operational for now, but those pieces are falling off, and the scraper arm is binding it. That's a recent.
Can that one piece around be replaced?
Yes, ma'am, it can be replaced, I just, get the material and I don't know if that's something we could do, maybe, but, I'm looking into it.
Okay.
We're clearing easements for the creek, so as part of the, grant that the engineers got for cammering and inspecting, well, since the hurricane, the easements, the contractors got to try to get in there, give us a quote, and couldn't access it, so the guys are clearing it now and building roads back there to it. They've been doing that for about 2.5 weeks. There's a few pictures in here. Just filling in low spots, and actually they've had to lay some pipe across the road for culverts. Like this is an opening they made. Like I said, there was no access to it to get jetting equipment or camera trucks. And go to the next picture.
What do you access? Access.
It's sewer lines that run along the creek. This was a low spot. They actually had to place a pipe in, all in dirt. That's hay that they placed on the sides, so it wouldn't erode during the rain we had Saturday. Get to the pictures of the lift stations, please. Which I sent, I emailed to you, Monday. But anyway, Warner was really overwhelmed. Main lift station, Goodman's, Case, and the transfer pumps. There was more water coming in than we could pump out.
That was during that rainstorm Friday or Saturday.
Our estimates, we got over 5 inches in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
We got way too much iron.
All right.
I think one of our lift stations 20 foot deep. It was almost coming out of the goal. It held it, it didn't overflow, but it's close.
All right. Thank you. You have anything else?
That's good news there. That's water actually coming through the door from the outside. It's over halfway full there. That's after the rain. So it's usually you can see the bottom, you can see the trough. There's actually a platform down there. We're going to use this to try to get more funding from DEP. That's the main lift station. Like I say, you're talking 20 foot deep, and it's 5 or 6 feet from the top. And it just. And if he comes across the figure for more, like I say, it's almost coming out the walkway.
Everything just old,
Pretty much.
wearing down.
You have anything else?
We bought a trench box a while back. Did you show them the pictures last week? I didn't fit the 10. We had to dig up 19.
I saw a picture in the paper.
So concrete got in a sewer main somehow. We had to dig it up and take it out. But I just want to show Mr. Bill this especially because he questioned me on the trench box. We were 9.5 foot deep. It did cave in, but we were in the box and it burned.
So it did its job.
Yeah, and, that's the box on the trailer, looks good.
Hmm.
That's what we took out of the line. It was 12 feet of that.
Did I read in the paper it was, what was it, tile, grout?
Yes, sir, it's a mixture of concrete and grout, it looked to be. I actually have a piece of it in the truck, I was gonna show y'all, but I didn't bring it out. Me and Lamar, amen, and the whole, didn't work.
Alrighty. Everything else? Thank you, Miss Shirley.
Let's fight will continue next year. Yes. I know everyone knows about the two young kids who lost their lives. There was no winners in that situation. My niece, my 15-year-old niece, is one of those who lost her life. If you ever keep my family and their family in your prayers, we need it. Thank you.
Landry.
Danielle, can we get somebody to look at the right of way on North Jefferson at the corner of the Dollar General store up there? When you pull up to try to pull out on the highway, you cannot see oncoming traffic. The vegetation is blocking your view. Is there anything we can do, any leverage we can use to get Ash Street resurfaced? I know it's not our problem, it's our responsibility, it's the county's, but it is our problem. And it's getting worse by the day.
When I actually spoke with Kenneth Dudley about it not too long ago. They have the Scott, brand or whatever. I don't know when their intention is to do it, but it's, I think soon. Hopefully.
Well, they've surveyed it, I understand they surveyed it twice, but no work's getting done, and I saw, survey flags and all that out there, but nothing's been done. I will probably not be here at the next meeting. I'm having hip surgery on the 5th on the other hip. So I'll be out for at least one meeting, maybe two, depends on how I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Benita. Mr. Brown.
I sit here and look at that picture of that old bus station and that old bus. Then I look around this room, the people who may have rode that bus, and there's not many. I rode it once. I came back 4 years later.
Very good. All right. Thank you all very much.